order. June 10, 2025 special magistrate proceedings for the City of Daytona Beach. At the outset, I've reviewed and approved the May 13, 2025 minutes, and we'll execute them. Do you have any announcements before I proceed any further?
Yes, sir. Starting on page 4, case number 12, SMG 0625-112, George Street Parcel Compliance, 6/5/2025. You need a pen?
Kim, can I borrow a pen?
Yep.
I guess I got a defective pen. Okay, I'm sorry, compliance? Number 12?
Yes. Yep.
All right, thank you.
And going on to page 5, case number 13, SMG 06-25-115, George Street Parcel, Compliance, June 6, 2025. Same page. Case number 14, SMG 06-25-113, Arthur Avenue Parcel, Compliance, June 9, 2025. Page number 7, case 21, SMG 05-25-86, Loomis Avenue Parcel, Compliance, June 9, 2025. Page number 9, case 29, SMG 07-24-110, 613 Hillside Avenue, Compliance, June 9, 2025. I believe that is it.
All right, well, all those representatives for the City of Daytona Beach will be testifying at this morning's proceedings. Please stand and be sworn.
You swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth? Thank you.
All right, we're going to take a case out of order. Case number 19. I believe we have a Zoom attendee. Take your time. Case number 19, Sunshine Ventures and Management, LLC.
Your Honor, Dennis Bear for the respondent.
Yes, sir.
I had provided an update report to staff yesterday. I believe they said that they were going to put it in your packet for this morning.
Do you have anybody with you who's going to be testifying this morning?
Not this morning, Your Honor. No, sir.
Okay. All right. Sunshine Ventures and Management, LLC, continued from the May hearing for a progress report, set a compliance date, further ordered fence repaired in 10 days. All right, let's hear from our inspector first. Well, first off, who wants to give me a progress report? Mr. Bear, give me a progress report.
Sure, Your Honor, I provided a report yesterday. The fence has been repaired. It was repaired within the 10 days required by Your Honor. I provided photographs. The one photograph shows on the first page the before and then the after picture. There's some other photographs also included that show the condition of the fence around the perimeter of the property. So the fence has been repaired. On the 7th page of the photographs, I've also included a photograph of the cover on the pool, which was an issue the last time the court was concerned about. The pool cover is still intact. No tears, no rips in it. The other issue that we had talked about last month was that my client's position was that the windows needed to be done before the other exterior repairs could be effected on the building. I provided a letter from the window contractor that in fact the windows have been ordered and they are expecting a delivery within 10 to 12 weeks from June 9th. And then the final issue I have to report to the court since the last hearing is my clients had applied for the building permit for the repairs that were required. The permit was rejected due to the age of the building. They required that an asbestos report be provided. The asbestos inspection was done. They did discover asbestos on some of the pipes that are floor level exiting the building. And so now they're working on getting that asbestos removed from those pipes so they can reapply for the permits.
Okay. All right, let's hear from our inspector, Mr. Stenson.
Good morning, John Stinson, Code Inspector with the city. My qualifications are on file. This property remains to be in non-compliance. The fence has not, I say again, has not been repaired, and it's still unsecure in multiple locations.
How so? Man's telling me it's fixed, so what do I need to know?
I was out there this morning, sir.
Okay,
I didn't have an opportunity to upload them there, but I do have the photographs here.
you can just
They're
tell me what you
basically the
saw.
same.
I'll take your word for it.
All the fencing that needed to be repaired has not been repaired. It is still unsecure.
Okay, what does Mr. Bear need to know about what he needs to do? Because I'm getting ready to tell him if it's not done in 10 days, the fine's automatically going to go into effect.
Well, I heard his progress report. The pool wasn't an issue as far as this particular case goes. The windows weren't an issue as far as this particular case goes. Per your order from last hearing, you had him to secure the fence or repair the fence within 10 days. That didn't happen, and there has been no other change on the property. So the city is asking for the imposition of $200 per day. And that's
Okay,
just for the
what is
fencing.
wrong with the fence? Your
The fencing
observations?
is literally almost laying on the ground. It's not connected to all its working parts. The actual chain link itself has been removed from its support on multiple locations. So it's
Okay,
nowhere near
Mr.
being
Bear,
ready.
what say you to that?
Your Honor, I'm going upon the photographs that my client provided. He said that they had people out there repairing it, and he sent me the picture showing, like I said, the first page of the picture shows a before and after by the garbage cans where the pipe was down and it was not attached, and that it appears now to be attached. But if it's, I have no reason to doubt the code inspector, but I was advised by my clients that they had in fact made the necessary repairs on the fence.
Okay, with regard to the severity of the noncompliance that you observed,
Yes, sir.
in your experience with fence companies and what have you, how long would you think it would take for the respondent to make this right within a reasonable amount of time?
1 day.
1 day.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All
And
right.
Judge, Your Honor, if I could interrupt, just so I'm clear, it's that the chain link needs to be attached to the supporting structures, to the cross supports.
You know, Dennis, I'm sure this is the same crappy fence that's been out there forever. Okay, and your photographs don't seem to indicate a whole lot of effort on the part of your respondent. So I'm going to make it simple here. I'm going to give the respondent 10 days to bring that fence into compliance. Failing that, a fine in the amount of $250 per day will go into effect and will continue each day thereafter until the fence is in compliance or the statutory amount regarding fines has been reached. I don't want, you're getting ready to ask me for another 90 days for windows, and you haven't even, that's just the delivery. And then you're going to be looking for more time after that. And I got neighbors in that neighborhood who have had it with this particular property.
Understood.
So I don't want some crappy little patch job, and I'm not holding you accountable. I'm talking about your client. He decided to step into this bailiwick, so be it. I want that fence built, repaired, replaced whatever to satisfy every one of the objections asserted by Mr. Stenson. And it's going to be done within 10 days. Failing that, a fine in the amount of $250 per day will automatically go into effect. So he's got 10 days to make this fence perfect. And if I were him, I would suggest putting in or fixing a fence that he knows would satisfy those neighbors that have been tortured to death by this particular property. So, but in any event, I need him to fix the fence. He's got 10 days to do so. Failing to do that, that fine will automatically go into effect. When are we going to talk about, I assume you're looking for another 90 days to take delivery on your windows?
Yes, sir.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to put this on our calendar for the next meeting as well, the July meeting, for another progress report, because I'm going to want to know the outcome of the fence, and then maybe we'll know a little bit more about the windows, and we can talk about whatever else that needs to be done to this property to bring it into compliance. Okay.
Judge, I will be out of the country at the next meeting, but I'll get coverage from another attorney.
That'll be fine. I mean, your client's welcome to attend. I'm not usually too mean to people, but whatever you want to do is fine with me.
Okay, I just want to give you a heads up. It'll be either my client or another attorney will be participating, and I'll pull them in.
All right.
Your Honor, if I may, Mr. Bayer, if you would like, we can email you the pictures that were taken this morning by Code Inspector Stenson.
I would really appreciate that,
Of course.
Ms. Diaz. That would be very helpful for me.
Dennis, you going to Africa again?
Yes, sir.
That's what I figured. Be
Gotta
careful.
gotta go see my kids.
All right, buddy. You take care.
Thanks, Judge.
All right, Mr. Vicalja, what was the max?
The maximum fine for that property,
It's 250 to 20?
$25,000.
25? Okay.
Multifamily residential commercial, $500,000 to $1.5 million assessed value, so I'm assuming it's $25,000.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. You have a good day.
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, apologies. I know I said that we were just going to do this one case with Mr. Stenson, but if you may, would we be able to do just his cases so that he can leave? He has some things that only he can address for certain.
Okay, let's go to case number 15.
Thank you.
Ryan Ashley Mowry and Tony Guerra. Anyone here for the respondent?
No.
Not seeing a respondent, what say the city?
Good morning, John Stenson, Code Inspector with the city. All cases are on file. This respondent was first notified on 22 May 2025. This is a repeat violation of off-site advertising at a residential home and vacant lot. Yesterday, June 9th, was the first communication I've had with Ms. Mowry. Apparently, Mr. Guerrero is unavailable. She said she was going to attend via Zoom. However, there's been no change in status of the property. There have been 23 occurrences since the last hearing when they were found in noncompliance. And the city is asking for the imposition of a fine per occurrence at $300.
What is an occurrence? An occurrence of what?
Occurrence of the noncompliance, the violation.
Which one?
The violation of off-site advertising, and
What does that mean?
that means the business is at one location and they're advertising someplace else. I don't know if you've seen these. Well, there it is in the picture. Those slingshots around the city, this is what we're talking about. This is the location at Williams and North A1A. Parked there advertising for rent.
So what does that mean? They park one of these
They
at the
parked,
house?
in this particular case, this one is parked at that location. They have multiple slingshots and golf carts at the actual residence, which is a residential property, not a commercial property. And they're also causing the parking issues at the residents, the advertising, and they have other violations on the property as well.
How many occurrences are there, do you know? 15?
23.
23.
There are a few occurrences that are 2 instead of 1 because 2 different locations.
Okay, now, this is suggesting this is a repeat violation. Does that mean we have previously found them in violation?
Yes, sir.
And for the record, they have been properly notified, so.
Are they repeating the off-site advertising
Yes, sir.
and the parking on the unimproved surface as well, I assume?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Noting the absence of the respondent, based upon the testimony of our inspector and the photographs presented, I find that there have been 23 separate occurrences in which the respondent has violated same ordinances for which he's previously been cited and fined. I'm going to fine the respondent the sum of $300 per each occurrence. According to my math, I believe that comes to $6,900, if I'm not mistaken.
That's correct, sir.
Is that it?
Yes, sir.
Case number 16, Daytona Beach MHP LLC. I believe we have a Zoom respondent.
Yes. Your Honor, this one's pretty cut and dry. We stipulated to a continuance of 30 days for this case. Yeah, the respondent has been working with us and provided us some records, so that's why we have stipulated to a 30-day continuance.
Yes, sir, if you would please state your name.
Sean Cornell on behalf of Daytona Beach MHP.
All right. This is case number 16, Daytona Beach MHP LLC. Our attorney is suggesting that you and she have come to some sort of a stipulation for my consideration?
That's correct, sir.
Something about a continuance to the next meeting?
That's correct, sir.
All right, I have that this matter is down for determination of compliance or non-compliance, so I take it we're going to just continue this matter in toto then to the July 8, 2025 meeting.
That is correct, Your Honor.
That sound about right?
Yes, sir.
All right, so ordered. We will continue this matter for determination on, as it currently stands, for further determination on July 8, 2025.
Can you do that?
You have a good day.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay.
You as well.
Case number 17, PBN DCC LLC. Is there anyone here for the respondent?
They have been found in compliance, Your Honor. As of today.
Case number 18, Quest IRA, Inc., for the benefit of Stephen Matthew Hahn, IRA.
For this one, we have agreed to, well, I'm not sure if he has communicated, but we would like to request a 30-day continuance. We have communicated with them what they needed to do to become in compliance. I know that there was a transition of ownership, so then we're in the process too of the name change. I have the property appraiser's report that says the new owners are Halifax Shores Condo Association. They have it in fee simple 100%.
They have what now?
They own the property in fee simple 100%. So we would just like to amend the name of the respondent being fined in this case and give them 30 days.
And good morning, Your Honor. This is Leanne Wagner on behalf of the respondent. We have no objection to the continuance.
Who else do I have here?
Your Honor, Ed Fanning, President of the HOA for Halifax Shores Homeowners Association.
Okay, is this your client, Ms. Wagner?
Yes, it is, Your Honor.
Very good. Okay, well, then, in accordance with the wishes of the parties, apparently there is a stipulation. That having been said, I will continue this matter as it currently stands to the July 8, 2025 meeting. Okay?
Thank you, Your
Thank
Honor.
you.
Good luck.
That was the last out of order case.
All right, with that now, we will return to our agenda. Case number 1, Oregon LLC. Is there anyone here for the respondent? Not seeing a respondent, what say the city?
Just for the record, the respondent was properly notified in this matter.
The respondent was what?
Properly notified.
Not seeing a respondent, what say the city?
Mark Jones, Code Supervisor. Credentials are on file. This is a complaint-generated case opened on April 30th, 2025 for unmaintained vacant lot, trash, debris, and weeds. Respondent was first notified on May 14th, 2025. Compliance was due May 19th, 2025. The inspector has had no contact from the owner, and a re-inspection on June 2nd, 2025 showed non-compliance and the violation still exists. Staff recommends a finding of non-compliance with compliance next cutoff.
Noting the absence of the respondent based upon the inspector's testimony and the photographs presented, I find the respondent in non-compliance. In order the respondent to come into compliance by July 2, 2025, or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Case number 2, Kane Family Revocable Living Trust. Okay, not seeing a respondent, what say the city?
Code Inspector Ron Bean, my code compliance credentials are on file. This case was opened up on November 1st, 2024 as a complaint-generated case for after-the-fact permit roof. First notice was received March 7th, 2025. Compliance was due on April 9th, 2025. Last date of reinspection was on June 9th, 2025, and the result was non-compliance. Contact has been made with the property owner. Staff recommends a finding of non-compliance with compliance due by the next cutoff.
After the fact permit roof, what does that mean? Okay, you the respondents?
Yes, my name is Donald Kane. I'm the owner of the property.
Okay,
It turns out that there's a mistake.
all right, hang on a second. Donald Kane, and your name?
My name is Jose Pilo. I'm the foreman of the Stephen Garment company who did
All
the
right.
roof.
If you would please be sworn by our secretary.
I'm sorry, could you say your name again?
Donald
No,
Kane.
you can stay over there by the microphone.
Donald Kane.
Okay, can you say your name again, sir?
Jose Pilo. Jose Pilo. I'm the foreman of the
Okay.
company who did the roof.
Spell your last name. I can't.
Pilo, P as in Peter, I-L-L-O.
Okay. Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
Okay, give me just a minute. All right, what's the nature of the violation?
A roof, which does require a permit to be issued by the city, was completed. No permit was applied for at that time, and no permit has been issued.
Okay. Is this a residence, rental property, commercial property?
It's a
What is it?
rental property.
Okay. All right. City says you put on a roof without a permit. What say the respondents?
Okay, that day was a hurricane season, and the hurricane was coming. The owner called Stephen Garment, the owner of the company, and said he wanted repair. The damage of the roof was so much that we can do a repair. We had to tear off and do it, the roof. Then I called, at that time I was in the roof, so I called Mr. Van and he said, do it, and then we do after fact because the property was in danger. Is the hurricane
Okay, you called who?
Yes.
Who did you talk to?
I talked to Steve Van Arnen, the owner of the company. And then he decided to tell me, what you want to do? I say, on the lineman is not want to solve the problem. It has to be shingle. He said, well, shingle, and then we do after fact.
All right. So what do they need to do? They need to go back and get a permit.
Yes.
That's doable?
Yes.
Are they in the process yet?
No.
Okay. What do they need to do? Permit application?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, can I explain?
Hang on a second. Okay, and permit application to approval, how long on average?
Depends how busy they are, but I believe this could be accomplished within 30 days.
Okay. All right, I'm told the cure here is for a permit application to be
Okay,
filed.
what happened was on October 31st, we applied for the permit. Then the city told Mrs. Bayanan that we needed a letter from the engineer to apply for the permit. So he was in the process to do that, but he went sick in the hospital. Actually, Mr. Bayanan died, in all this process. The limitation of the time and he was in the hospital was the whole process. Now we have the letter from the engineer now, and here
You have a letter from whom?
for the engineer because
Okay.
after fact, the letter from the engineer.
Gotcha.
And we have from the BBPR the authorization to pull out the permit after an emergency because it is open permit. And now let me tell you one thing: in all this process, Mr. Van Arman was sick, and he pulled out the permit for another duplex on the side. And, so he was confusing. So he pulled out the permit for another, the one, if you can see the picture, it's
Identical building.
the building. So it's on the right side, this is the one. Now, he pulled out the permit for the wrong one. So finally, we found out, and then we came back. And when we came back, they asked for the permit. Now, I went to the office in the morning now, and with this letter from the BBPR, the only thing we need is pull out the permit. And then we are able to do the permit today and go to the process of the,
All right, well, I'm going to give you about 30 days to get it done.
yes.
Okay. All right. I think we all seem to know what has to happen here, so I find the respondent in noncompliance, order the respondent to come into compliance by July 2, 2025, or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Now, I'm not going to say it's going to happen, but sometimes paperwork gets slowed down. If you run into hiccups along the way, let this guy know what's going on, and he will be your best friend if you need additional time. So just keep him posted as to your progress on the permit as you go through that process. Okay? And don't forget, he's got to do his final inspection, which means I guess they got to show you that permit.
That is correct.
And so make sure you keep him posted as to what's going on if you're running short on time. As soon as you get your permit, bring it to his attention. He'll put a notice of compliance in here, and then you're done. Okay? Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Case number 3, Shannon Hines, trustee of the Rutherly Land Trust. Is that you?
Sir? Yes.
A lot of words. Yes, sir. If you would state your name and be sworn.
Shannon Hines.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole
Yes.
truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Hines, you agree these conditions or these violations existed or occurred as stated in the notice of violation?
Yes.
All right, I find the respondent in noncompliance. Madam Inspector, how much time should reasonably be required for Mr. Hines here to come into compliance?
Next cutoff.
Next cutoff, Mr. Hines, is July 2, 2025. What say you to that?
Yes, I agree.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, very good. Then I will order I find the respondent in noncompliance and order the respondent to come into compliance by July 2, 2025, or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Just like you heard me tell the previous gentleman, if you run short on time on getting these things done, keep her posted as to what's going on. And don't forget, you got to have a final inspection by her before the paperwork's done. So just don't do the work and then go about your business. Make sure you call for a final inspection.
Okay.
Good luck to you.
All right.
Case number 4, Kelly Lynn Riley.
Give it to Shauna.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Inspector Mariah Quinn with the City of Daytona Beach. My credentials are on file.
Yes, ma'am. If you would please state your name and be sworn.
Good morning. My name is Kelly Lynn Riley.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
Ms. Riley, do you agree these violations existed or occurred as stated in the notice of violation?
Yes.
I find the respondent in non-compliance. Madam Inspector, how much time should reasonably be required for the respondent to come into compliance?
The next cutoff, Your Honor.
Next cutoff, Ms. Riley, is July 2, 2025. Can you have it taken care of by then?
Oh, yes.
Very good. I'll order the respondent to be in compliance by July 2, 2025, or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Don't forget to call your inspector for a final inspection. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Case number 5, Jorge Iguerdo. Anyone here for the respondent? Not seeing a respondent, what say the city?
Your Honor, this case was generated through Daytona Beach Police Department and opened on December 19th, 2024 for damaged stucco peeling paint and no business tax receipt. The respondent was first notified on February 22nd, 2025. Compliance was due on March 24th, 2025. The property is occupied at this time, and I've had no contact with the property owner. Some progress has been made. Staff recommends noncompliance with compliance at the next cutoff.
And for the record, the respondent has been properly notified.
What is the sanitation issue, or is that the outside storage?
Part of it was the outside storage, and there was a lot of trash and debris littered around the property.
Okay. All right, in any event, noting the absence of the respondent, based upon our inspector's testimony and the photographs presented, I find the respondent non-compliance. Order the respondent to commit to compliance by July 2, 2025, or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Case number 6, Realco LLC. Anyone here for the respondent? Not seeing a respondent, what say the city? Zoom. Yes, sir. If you would please state your name and be sworn.
I'm Challenger Arjun for Realco.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, your name again?
Challenger Arjun, Arjun.
Yes, sir. Do you agree these violations existed or occurred? Oh, I'm sorry. What's your affiliation with Realco LLC?
I'm the registered agent.
Okay. And do you agree these violations existed or occurred as stated in the notice of violation?
All of which are cured except the signage, which I'm not sure if you want me to get into it or just answer the question.
All right. Well, that takes care of part of it. Then I find the respondent in non-compliance. All right. Madam Inspector, how much time should reasonably be required for the respondent to come into compliance?
The next cutoff is what we're asking in regards to what he was saying about there being a process. There may need to be, as he was told through permits and licensing, a rezoning review, but I still want to do the next cutoff for status check on what's occurring through that process.
All right. The city's suggesting you ought to be in compliance by July 2. What say you to that?
All right, so we had a technical review on the 3rd, and based on that review, they said I have to do a spot application for a spot zoning change. They said I could take upwards of 5 to 6 months with no guarantee of it happening. So, I mean, everything that they asked of us, we've been supplying. We applied for the sign permit, we sent in for the everything. So, it's just the time consumption part is on the city part, because we asked for a zoning letter, we sent it to the state to issue the license. which the city is requiring in order to issue the BTR. But the zoning letter had certain restrictions that the state did not accept, which is why the spot rezoning is the only and last resort that's left. But they're saying that's a process that's not, it's not like a 30-day thing. That's a 5 to 6 months process.
Okay. And is that a process you intend to pursue?
So on the 3rd, which is last week, that's when we were told that's the next process that's left. And I asked for the application and stuff, and they sent it in. I sent them an email about the application fee and stuff, which I'm awaiting them to reply back. Now, this one is only pertaining to the mobile auto on the sign there. For the Remco part, last Friday, they did issue the BTR, which we paid like within hours of it being issued. So really, the only thing that's left is for that mobile auto to be granted the spot zoning, so that the state can issue the license to show to the city for them to issue the BTR.
You know what's involved in rezoning a piece of property?
Yes.
You know the expenses to be incurred in rezoning a piece of property?
They sent me an email, which I replied back for clarification when those fees and stuff are due.
I mean, I'll consider your pursuit of an administrative remedy for the purposes of coming into compliance. But what you're talking about is pretty involved, pretty detailed, pretty expensive, and I'm not just going to carte blanche put this off for 6 months. So my point is, that's why I'm asking, are you genuinely going to be pursuing this rezoning request? If that's the case, so be it. That's your prerogative. And as long as you pursue it, I suppose I'll deal with it as best I can. But I just want to make sure you know what you're getting into. Spot zoning, I'm not the lawyer here. I'm not the zoning expert. But I'm familiar enough with zoning to know spot zoning is illegal. So, but that's not to say you may not get approval for whatever you're looking for. And if you think you can get it, by all means go for it. Don't take my word for anything. It's just that when I hear somebody say they're going to make an application for spot zoning, that doesn't sound too promising to me. I want to make sure they know what they're getting into. And more importantly, I want to know they're actually going to pursue it if they're going to ask me for time to allow them to do that. So is it your intent to go forward with a rezoning application?
Well, that's the intent, but I'm still waiting for them to reply back to the questions I sent them on the 4th, the day after the meeting we had. So based on that, the fees and stuff, I'll make an ultimate decision there. But as of right now, we are, setting up we did everything leading up to that. So that's like the only hurdle that we have to overcome in order to complete the entire process.
What does the respondent have to do physically to come into compliance?
Well,
Take mobile auto off that sign?
And that's what I wanted to add. There's also the matter of the signage permit for both of those businesses. One business, as he stated, Remco LLC, that a license is still in the process of being issued. It's not an active license yet. And then Mobile Auto LLC, in which he has to go through that spot rezoning for. So we're also we have that question out there as to whether the Mobile Auto LLC signage needs to be removed, pending what the outcome of that rezoning is, and if he can or cannot operate that business at that property.
Yeah.
That's essentially what has to happen.
I believe that the city's request is that we have a progress report, not a fine hearing next time.
All right, have I already found the respondent non-compliance?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I've found the respondent non-compliance. I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to return this matter to our July 8th meeting. That'll give you some time to figure out what you're doing. If you haven't made an application for rezoning by then I'll give you a limited amount of time to come into compliance. If you have made an application for rezoning, then we'll talk about how long you expect that process to take and how much time you may require for it. 10-4?
Yep.
Okay. Then found the respondent in noncompliance, will continue the determination of a compliance date to our July 8, 2025 meeting. It's being continued for a progress report and/or determination of a compliance date, depending on what the respondent has chosen to do with regard to any administrative remedies he chooses to pursue. All right, good luck, sir.
All right, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Daytona 418 Management and Investment, LLC. Anyone here for the respondent? Not seeing a respondent, what say the city?
Okay, this case opened December 3rd of 2024. The owner was first notified December 20th of 2024 for violations of no business tax receipt or short-term rental license. Just checking the status of an application for a BTR or short-term rental license. There is not an application on file. We have continued to receive tenant complaints for the conditions of the units that are being rented at this property. There's on-site signage, advertising. Oh, I think he appeared via Zoom. There's advertising at the property for weekly, monthly rentals. So we're requesting compliance by the next cutoff for this case.
Okay, do we have a respondent?
Yes.
Yes, sir. If you would please state your name and be sworn.
Okay, my last name GAO, first name YUN, QING. And we did the eviction.
Hang on a second.
Sir, what's your first name?
YUNQING.
Okay, and your last name?
GAO.
Raise your right hand.
Yes.
Swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth.
Yes, I tell the truth.
Thank you.
Okay,
Yes.
sir, do you agree this violation existed or occurred as stated in the notice of violation?
Yeah, I did. I agree.
All right, hang on. Then I find the respondent in noncompliance. Madam Inspector, how much time should it take for the respondent to come into compliance?
By next cutoff is fine.
All right, the city is suggesting you ought to be able to have this taken care of by July 2. What say you to that?
Yeah, I did comply right now because I get the eviction final judgment from the court. I start eviction. So these people going to be out maybe in a couple of days.
Okay, very good. All right, well, I'm going to give you till July 2 to get it straightened out. And if you end up running into delays, especially if you're talking about court proceedings, stay in touch with your inspector and let her know what's going on, okay?
Okay, no problem.
All right, so I'm going to order the respondent be in compliance by July 2, 2025, or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Okay, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Case number 8, Whirlwind Daytona Investment 1, LLC. And I believe we have another Zoom attendee.
They may have all come in person. They may have all come in person.
Must have him in
Oh,
person.
they're in person.
Okay, anyone who's going to be talking needs to state their name and be sworn.
State your name.
Tommy Vass.
I'm sorry, what's your name?
Tommy.
Tommy.
Last name Vass, V-A-S-S.
Okay. What's your name, ma'am?
Susie Hurd.
Okay, go ahead.
Susie Hurd.
Okay. And what is your name, ma'am?
D. Wayne. First name D-I, and last name Wayne, W-A-N-G.
Everybody raise your right hand. You swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth. All right, thank you.
Who here has anything to do with Whirlwind Daytona Investment 1, LLC? You?
Yeah.
What are you?
Both.
What are you?
I'm the, him or me?
You.
I'm the appointed manager on the property on site.
Okay. And your affiliation?
I'm the owner.
The owner?
Yeah.
You're a witness. Okay, very good. All right. Who's going to be the spokesperson for the respondent here? Which one of you wants to?
I'll be the one.
Okay. Do you agree this violation existed or occurred as stated in the notice of violation?
Yes.
All right, I find the respondent in noncompliance. Madam Inspector, how much time should reasonably be required for the respondent to come into compliance?
This property is now in compliance with the violation noted here. We'd like to have it found in compliance with a will fine. This is in regards to all the exterior storage around the property.
Okay, as far as the whirlwind, folks, I guess it's been indicated that you've already come into compliance with the various violations for which you were cited? Okay. And the city is looking for a will fine, which means that in the future, should this situation repeat itself, you'll be brought in for a will fine. It could be up to $5,000 per occurrence. Okay. I'm going to go listen to our witness for a while, unless you have more you wanted to add.
No, there's nothing to add. Yeah, there's another violation that we are still waiting on the architect to, get in contract with, and then to complete the permit process.
The next case is also with this company.
Is that a separate matter?
Yes.
Okay. So this violation involves the business tax receipt, short-term license.
No, this case was for outside storage, rubbish, and garbage.
Here we go.
And Your Honor, just for the record, I just confirmed the search warrant did occur at this property.
Yeah,
What now?
Sorry, there was a search warrant, which she is confirming on the next case.
As well as other crimes that have occurred on the property since they have taken possession.
So what's going on at 1800 South Atlantic? We got problems?
So, we did give, so I'm the newly appointed manager on site, and we have improved a lot of operation internally, and there were some negligence on the management that caused, improper screening on customers, lack of warning on residents that are not supposed to be on the property. But based on our internal improvements on the operation, this should not happen again.
Good, let's hope so. All right.
And we are also fully cooperative with the police officers. I was told that the previous manager was not fully cooperative, which caused a lot of issues as well.
Okay. Let's hear from our witness.
Your
Yes,
Honor,
ma'am.
I have some questions for the owners, if you may.
Go right ahead.
Are you guys part of the trespass initiative program with the Daytona Beach Police Department? Are you aware?
There is another eviction going on for one of the other rooms that we have, and they seem to be also troublesome customers on site. That's why there is a trespassing going on.
So no. So if I'm not telling you that you have to do this, I'm just advising. This Daytona Beach Police Department has a program called the Trespass Arrest Initiative. They help businesses if they have problems with trespass. If you call over to the department, they can provide you more information. It might help resolve some of that transient nature and trespass that you have on the property. In addition to that, what additional steps are you taking for the crime that's occurring on the property? This is just for me to know. I don't think this relates to the code issue.
Well, of course, the camera system we're improving, and
Okay.
We're planning on upgrading some of the cameras to provide, clearer footage on ins and outs. And we do have, we do have people hired to monitor the cameras rather closely.
Are they like security?
Yeah, as a
Okay.
security.
Thank you.
And as the owner, we also he also steps on the foot, more. As the manager here, I also put myself fully dedicated to the property.
If you'd like, I can give you my card if you have any questions about the Trespass Arrest Initiative. It's just a suggestion if you wanted to call the police
Sure, of
department about
course.
that.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So, my name again is Susie Hurt, and I guess representing the neighborhood in a sense from speaking to many neighbors. This problem started shortly after April 2024 when the new owner took place. Prior to that, it had been owned for decades by someone else. It's an economically priced motel, which had been fine for decades. In September, there was a code enforcement complaint filed. In December, there was a DBPR inspection filed, which I assume they were notified of the failure, which was the trash, etc. As you saw, the trash there was toilets, there was mattresses, a lot of trash. I'm sure you've looked at the photos. You can only imagine what that brought with it. Mattresses and toilets. I don't think I need to say much more. The trash was all over the place, up and down the backs of the street at Fraser. People would find blankets, clothing, you name it. How it was not visible to the owner and the management is beyond me. February, March of 2025, code enforcement, I think, did a few things. April 2025, thankfully, Daytona Beach SWAT team came in, made a bust, several arrests, and some cleaning occurred after that. There was still construction debris out front. Other things had gone on. They'd been out there for almost a year. May 7th, when I looked up before I came here, they were notified of a permit they'd filed, which was sent back to them. I looked at that permit. The license number, at least on the asbestos letter, is not invalid in the Florida system. May 7th, the City of Daytona business tax receipt inspection was completed. It also failed. These problems have been ongoing and very visible. How no one could see what was going on that property is beyond me. Thefts happened in the neighborhood. The string of people walking down the middle of the street that were clearly going there for what they eventually occurred was obvious. The filth, the trash, the fence that's falling apart is still falling apart. It doesn't take a permit or an architect to get the weeds cut down and to put boards up on a fence. That's how it is today. We look forward to seeing it be good like it used to be.
All right.
That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Based upon the testimony of our inspector, the respondents, our witness, the photographs presented, I find the respondent was in noncompliance. I further find the respondent has since come into compliance. Notwithstanding that, for any future occurrence or future violation, the respondent will be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $5,000 per occurrence. That takes care of that matter. Now, that brings us to case number 9, Whirlwind Daytona Investment 1 LLC. Come on back up, folks. With regard to this case, which appears to address a lot of building issues. Do you agree these violations existed or occurred as stated in the notice of violation?
Yes.
Yes? Okay, I find the respondent in non-compliance. Mr. Inspector, how much time should be required for the respondents to come into compliance?
Next cutoff?
Next cutoff, how much work are we looking at here? How many units do you have there?
We have 21 units.
Okay, I hope they don't all look like that.
No, it's only one unit that's like that.
All right. I'm just trying to gauge, I try to figure out if he's being reasonable as well as you, whether you're being reasonable. Okay, so the inspector seems to think you ought to be able to have this matter in compliance by July 2. What say you to that?
Yes, I think one of the rooms associated with this violation is the one that I was talking about earlier. We're waiting for the architect to get back to us and to be contracted with, so we can, be in compliance.
Okay. Are we talking about one unit or multiple units that these violations span?
One unit for the work that was done without a permit.
Okay.
And that's what you're addressing.
Okay.
So it would be an after-the-fact permit that they're
All right,
looking for.
that's fine. So, but it's one unit.
Yes. Now, some of the other violations were throughout the property, the smoke detectors, light covers, but it was all small items that
What's
could be.
the unit we're talking about?
It's 119.
119.
When we were doing some of the work, like
All right.
since
How much
it-
time is going to reasonably be required for you to straighten out 119?
Well, I'm still waiting on the architect because
I
they
heard
have
you.
a backload on the work. And I would assume, for the architect drawing to get completed, it would be about a month. And then for the work to get completed, it probably would require another a month or two. So I would say at the max of 3 months, supposedly.
All right, then here's what we'll do. I find the respondent in non-compliance. With the exception of Unit 119, I'm going to order you to be in compliance by July 2,
Yep.
or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. With regard to Unit 119, we will have, I'll see you at my July 8th meeting for a progress report,
Sure.
so that you can tell me what the story is on 119,
Yep.
what progress has been made, and hopefully we'll get closer to establish an actual compliance date. I don't mind giving you a little bit of time to get this done, as long as 119 is not rented, utilized, or occupied until it's fully ready to go back online.
Yeah.
10-4?
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay. So as far as whatever violations involve the property in general, you have until July 2, 2025 to bring those into compliance, or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. With regard to Unit 119, we'll have a progress report on that unit on July 8th, and in the interim, it is not to be rented, occupied, or otherwise utilized during the time, or at least until it is fully back in compliance.
Yeah.
Very good?
Yeah.
All right, good luck to you. Good luck, ma'am. Case number 10, Space Shuttle Renovations, LLC. Anyone here for the respondent? Here we go.
Good morning.
Good morning. And your name, please?
Kimberly Perez.
Kimberly.
Perez. Because I'm short.
And your affiliation with Space Shuttle Renovations, LLC?
The appointed manager.
Very good. All right, ma'am, if you would please be sworn.
Raise your right hand. You swear to affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth.
Yes.
Thank you.
Do you, with regard to case number 10, unpermitted accessory structure, Connex trailer, trash and debris, 750 Orange Avenue, do you agree this violation existed or occurred as stated in the notice of violation?
Yes.
All right, I found the respondent in non-compliance. Mr. Inspector, how much time should reasonably be required for the respondent to come into compliance?
Next cutoff.
Inspector seems to think you ought to be able to straightened out by July 2. What say you to that?
Okay, Those can ship it. Those are shipping containers, and they actually have building material in them. One of the owners of Space Coast, Space Shuttle, got sick. Planned surgery turned into a stroke, a seizure turned into a seizure. So this is where we're at now. We just need some time. We have already did an application for that property to build on that property. That's how the actual material got there. The property is, those are old pictures, but the property is like always clean. Like this is one of 11 properties. Basically, he got sick. We didn't expect it. And so now this is where we're at. And we're just trying to keep things together until he gets better or his brother can step in. I just need some time. I don't know even how to purchase a shipping container, let alone actually move a shipping container. We expect to build on here. It's just gonna take some time now because now, he got sick or whatever. The city can actually look and see that we had already did an application on it. And this is one of 11 properties. It's no problems with anything else. I keep everything cut.
You filed an application for what?
To actually build condos on that property. It's supposed to be like 6 condos and then business
And what's inside the trailer?
wood and different other building material, because like I said, we had did an application and we were in the process of building there, and then he got sick, and this is where we're at now.
Why do we have 2 cases?
It's 2 separate parcels, Your Honor.
Same situation as to both?
Yes, sir.
One trailer or more than one trailer?
There's 1 trailer per parcel.
It's literally like the property line is between, see it right there? The property line is like between those 2 shipping containers, but it's one thing, because we needed space.
So is it an unpermitted accessory structure because right now you're not seeing any construction?
Pretty much.
I just
Okay,
need
has
some
the
time.
trash and debris been taken care of?
Yeah, the lot's they're always, cleaned up. It was cleaned up as when I went there yesterday. The only thing is out there is just
So now it's the trailers?
the trailers.
When do you plan on applying for a building permit?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I need at least a year.
You need what?
A year. At least a year. Like I said, nobody expected for him to get sick. This is only one of 11 properties, and I keep everything right or whatever. I don't know what to do with the shipping container, and I don't know how to move it. And like I said, the building material for this actual job is there. You can see that we did do an application, so we were definitely on the way. It's just this is where we're at now. But I need to also give his brother time to even get here. One brother lives here, the other brother lives, down south or whatever. So, and he's in the middle of still building a school now. So, and we just need time right now as a family. We just need time.
Well, the only thing that you need to do to come into compliance, unless I'm mistaken, is remove these trailers.
Correct.
Okay, and I'm sorry that you're not going to be building anytime soon, but you can't leave them there indefinitely.
No.
If you had an application for a permit, then maybe I'd hear you. But you're telling me you don't even know if it's going to happen within the next year.
I know it's going to happen within the next year, but I can't say when because, like I said, his brother is actually doing another project. Right now, he's in the middle of doing a preschool turned into elementary school.
All right, well, I'm assuming these trailers have to be removed.
Repeat that, sir?
I'm assuming the trailers have to go.
Yes, sir, because we actually opened up this case back in 2024, and the property, after the owner got sick, he turned the properties over to his brother, so we had to recite the owner.
Okay, these trailers, how do we get them out of there? Truck picks them up and hauls them out?
Yes, sir.
But we would have to get them emptied before we can actually get them moved because of the weight thing or something. I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea. And
Okay, well, as it stands, the trailers have to go. You're going to have to find someplace else to store them because you just can't store them on these lots like this.
Yes.
And you can't store them there indefinitely. Now, if you were in the process of getting a building permit, maybe I'd accommodate you, but it doesn't sound like that's going to happen anytime soon.
I know that a building, I'm not even gonna stand here and say, I know that a building permit is definitely not getting ready to be filed within at least the next 8 to 9 months. Like, I know that for a fact. So,
All right.
but I
Then-
mean, if you could give me any time to try to figure this thing out, like, I do not.
Well, I can't give you the kind of time you're talking about, that's for sure. All right, I'm sorry. All right, I'm going to order the respondent to have these trailers out of there. I'll tell you, I'll give you till August 6th to figure it out. Okay, that's the best I can do, is give you additional time to figure it out. I'll give you till August 6th, 2025 to come into compliance or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. I don't think it's that big a deal to move those trailers and store them somewhere else, and that's all you really need to be doing.
Well, I've been trying to find, it can be commercial property, but it can only be commercial property if the commercial property has a license, a valid license right then. So I've just been going through the process of trying to even figure out where they can legally be
Well,
stored.
that's why I gave you some additional time to figure that out. So, I don't mean to be rude, but figure it out.
Okay, and then, listen, this is completely off subject.
And why are we talking about it?
Because, like, it's something really needs to be done about it. I have contacted, like, the city manager's office, and I've been working with, like, you know, the code enforcement people, everything. It's extremely hard to own property, and people keep dumping. Like,
People keep what?
Dumping. It's
Yeah.
illegal dumping, and
Yeah.
it's everywhere, and
I
it's
understand.
horrible. So, like, I think the city needs to get together with the owners, and let's try to figure something out. Like I said, I've called the city manager's office and all, but it's like we gotta work together as a team or whatever on that part. It has nothing to do with this,
Why
but
don't you go down to the city commission meeting and put it on the agenda?
If Your Honor, if I may, additionally, were you listening when I was talking to the previous motel owner about the trespass?
we already have that on.
You
most
have
of
that
them,
on
yes.
there? Okay.
Okay.
Thank
All
you.
right, same ruling, both properties. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
And if for some reason you're not able to, you run into problems, keep this gentleman posted as to what's going on. But for the time being, those trailers are going to have to be relocated. You can bring them back when you're ready to start work, but you can't leave them where they are indefinitely.
Okay, thank you.
Good luck.
Your Honor, it looks like the next case is case 20, but before we move there, I just wanted to clarify for the record, for case 18, the name change, did you issue that order? The order that the case style reflect the correct owner as Halifax Shores Condo HOA and remove Quest IRA Incorporated FOB Stephen Matthews Hahn IRA?
All right, Counselor, say that again. I'm going to go back to case number 18. I'm
Yeah.
ordering
Order
that the respondents be amended to include who now?
that the case style reflect the correct owner as Halifax Shores Condo HOA and remove what's listed there, the Quest IRA.
Very good. In toto, Quest IRA Inc. for benefit of Stephen Matthew Hahn IRA. All right, so we have a different respondent altogether.
Yes, that's
Very good.
correct.
Okay. That brings us to case 20, Alice M. Younger. Anyone here for the respondent? Okay, not seeing a respondent, what say the city?
Our respondent was first notarized on March 6th of 2025. Since last month's hearing, there's been no contact or progress. Staff requests a fine of $250 a day with a max fine of $15,000.
Noting the absence of the respondent, based upon our inspector's testimony and the photographs presented, and taking into consideration our current order of noncompliance, I'm fining the respondent the sum of $250 per day, commencing June 5, 2025, and that fine will continue to accrue each day thereafter until the property is brought into compliance or the amount of the fine has reached the sum of $15,000. Case number 21 is in compliance. Case number 2, Shafat and Carol M. Ahmed. Anyone here for the respondent? Yes, sir.
Good morning. Inspector Roosevelt Butler, credentials on file with the City of Daytona Beach. As it pertains to 755 Derbyshire, the respondent was first notified August 28, 2024. Since April court appearance, I've had contact with both the son and property owner. Per the son, they identified a contractor and work is in progress. Also, windows has been ordered, and we're waiting on arrival for the windows to gain compliance. Staff request amend to the August cutoff.
Okay, based upon our inspector's presentation, I'm amending our current amended order of noncompliance to allow the respondent till August 6, 2025 to come into compliance or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Case number 23, Gregory Karpinski. All right, yes, sir. If you would please state your name and be sworn.
Yes. Good morning, Judge. It's Gregory Karpinski.
Raise your right hand. You swear from the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
All right, this matter is here for the imposition of a fine. So what say the city?
Inspector Mariah Quinn, City of Daytona Beach Code Compliance. The respondent was first notified on January 18th, 2024. I have had contact with the property owner. Since the last hearing, no further progress has been noted, and staff recommends a fine of $100 per day with a max of $10,000.
What's going on, Mr. Karpinski? Why are we still dealing with this?
Yeah, I know. Well, as we talked about it at one of our previous hearings, I've had to deal with my kidney cancer-related medical condition, so I had to address that first, and over the last 2 months, the situation has worsened, so I had to address that first. That was an emergency for me. So the house issue, although important to the city, obviously the city has the standards, I had to address this issue first. I did, as a result of the found violations, I had to request the permit to give it the scope of work to be done from the city of Daytona. So with a delay, I finally got that permit, which was issued until to complete the to fix the violation, to do the reparations. That permit was issued until September 3rd of this year. So the city gave me that time to fix it. And hopefully, I'll be able to address the house, in turn, to bring this thing into city's compliance. So, if I may request to reconcile the imposition of fine with the date until which the permit was issued, meaning September 3rd.
How much work's been done to date?
He has done some of the pressure washing has been completed, and he's removed all of the rotten railings and part in the main part of the floor on the bottom, just the subfloor that is there. So he has done some work, and I did not know that his medical issue had come back. So there hasn't been much work since for the last, I'd say, 6 weeks. But he has been good about maintaining the property. I just happened to catch him right before he was cutting the grass there. So he had been moving along pretty steadily until his recent health issue a few weeks ago.
And I'm trying to keep the surrounding of the house clean and, maintained, so it's not an eyesore.
Okay, is this a personal residence?
It is a personal residence.
Are there any rentals involved here?
No one is living in that house besides me.
Are you going to be working on it continuously from now till September 3rd? Is that what
Yes,
you're telling me?
Piece by piece, yes.
Piece by piece.
Right, one thing at a time.
And if I may add, there's really not a whole lot that's left to be done. He's just got to pressure wash, paint the exterior, and just put the new banisters back up downstairs.
It's not really...
All right, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to continue this matter to the July 8, 2025 meeting. It's here for the imposition of a fine right now. And if what I hear on July 8th is, yes, Mr. Karpinski's done what he can and he's gotten a little closer to being done, then I'll consider the additional 2 months you're looking for.
Awesome.
Sound fair enough?
More than fair, actually.
All right, I'm going to continue this matter to the July 8, 2025 meeting. And at that point, we will revisit where we stand and what progress we've made. And more importantly, hopefully we'll be able to see there's even less yet to be done. And we can perhaps put a compliance date in there with some confidence. Very good?
Thank
Good luck
you.
to you.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Case number 24, Ivan and Carden, LLC.
Good morning, my owner.
Good morning. If you would please state your name and be sworn.
My name is Charlie Nguyen.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I am.
Thank you.
And what is your affiliation with Ivan and Carden, LLC?
I'm the owner.
This matter is here for the imposition of a fine. What say the city?
Respondent was first notified on February 18th, 2025. Since last hearing, I have been in contact with the property owner. There has been progress, but they installed the fence, you can see that white fence, without a permit. All the other violations had been corrected. They did file for a permit yesterday morning online, but they filed it as the owner of a commercial property, which will not be acceptable. They're going to have to get a contractor to file for that after the fact permit for the fence. Staff is recommending a fine of $100 a day with a cap of $20,000.
They've come into compliance with everything but the fence?
Everything but the fence, with the exception of the interior.
What does that mean?
There was many violations. This was a case that you may recall with South Daytona Social Club. They were the tenants there. There's numerous violations inside. We would be acceptable if the order was that they would not be occupying or renting this until the interior violations were rectified. At this point, the property is vacant, and Mr. Tung has said that they will not be renting it until they get those violations corrected. But we still have the correction of the violation with the fence that they had installed, and the property owner may be able to explain that the fence company, why the fence company didn't pull a permit.
All right, why didn't your fence company pull a permit? You probably would, they would have been done with this had they done that.
Correct, yes, this case with the
Why
exception
didn't your fence
of the
company
interior.
pull a permit?
I don't know why they didn't do it because I I hired them as a company. They supposed to know what the rule and law in Daytona Beach, which is I just recently find out when I talked to Jones. He said there's no permit applied since then. So that's why I tried to contact them the last whole week, but it's no response from them. So that's why I finally come up with the idea I can't just do it by myself, which I don't know is that acceptable or not. But if it's not acceptable, like as John just mentioned about earlier, then I need to find a contractor to do the permit. It's like I didn't aware of that. The company didn't do the permit.
All right. The inspector says you have a lot of work to do on the inside?
Yes, he told me, and he said it's exceptional if until I have a tenant to come in and doing that, which is I did clean up all the wire and put the new exit side there, but it's not the I did not resolve the whole lot. The ceiling is still is there. It's just the column they put it on for decoration that need to be removed, and the hard doorway at the back, which is not installed yet, but then. Beside that, everything else is already covered, so.
All right, what is the proposal you're suggesting, Mr. Inspector?
I was suggesting a fine of $100 a day with a cap of $20,000.
And then alternatively, you said something about if he would agree not to utilize the building.
Correct. If they
until something was done.
Well, before they occupied the building, they needed to correct all the interior violations. But because the property is vacant and they assured me they would not occupy the building or lease the building until the violations were corrected. There's a lot of items that are going to take, they're going to take quite a bit of work to get the interior done.
Okay, but all these items are not within this notice of violation?
Yes, all those items were in the original notice of violation. The original notice of violation was trash and debris, outside storage, unmaintained landscaping, damaged fence, damaged front door. That was the original violation, which also included damaged interior surfaces, damaged wall outlets, use of extension cords for lighting, damaged exit sign, and incorrect door hardware. That was the total of the violation.
Okay, I guess I'm confused. So we have all these things in this notice of violation to be attended to, that they're not in compliance with it.
Correct.
And what is it you're suggesting? That we will give them more time if they agree to not occupy or use the building?
Correct. I would give them more time for the interior.
For the interior.
As long as all the exterior violations had been corrected.
And the only exterior violation right now is the failure to get the permit for the fence?
Correct, sir.
How much time should it take to fix all the interior issues?
I would assume a couple months. What I would ask more what they have already accomplished. I have not been able to get into the building since I was visited, since we were in there with the police department during the eviction process.
How much longer is it going to take for you to do all the repairs that you need to do for both the inside and the outside?
For the outside, that's the only permit that we need to get it complete. For the inside, would you mind to give me at least for 2 months to do that?
I'll agree to. I'll consider it if you'll agree to not rent, use, or occupy the building until it's in compliance.
I would not use it at all since right now because So can I just keep it like that until I finally found a tenant and then fix it before they move in?
Okay, we need the property to be brought into compliance.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'll consider giving you 60 days to do that.
Okay.
Subject to the property not being rented, occupied, or otherwise used until it's in compliance. But the property's got to be brought into compliance.
Yes, sir.
We're not talking about just leaving the interior, are we?
No.
Okay. All right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you an additional 30 days to get the fence squared away with the permit that you should have had.
Yes, sir.
So you need to be in compliance with regard to the fence by July 2, 2025, or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. With regard to the remaining items, which I understand to be the interior, I'm going to allow you till August 6, 2025 to come into compliance on all of those items, subject to the property not being rented, occupied, or otherwise utilized until it's brought into compliance.
Yes,
Failing
sir.
that, you'll be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Okay, so do you understand what you need to do?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Case number 25, Covenant Community Development Corporation of Florida, LLC. Okay. Yes, sir. If you would please state your name and be sworn.
Attorney Cedric Donaldson.
Pardon?
Attorney Cedric Donaldson.
Okay. And you're here on behalf of Covenant Community Development Corporation of Florida, LLC?
Yes, that is correct.
All
And it
right,
should
let's
be,
hear from our inspector. This matter is here for the imposition of a fine. What say the city?
Respondent was first notified on April 5th, 2024. Since last hearing, there has been no contact from the owner. There has been a demolition permit issued on May 14th, 2025. I visited the property earlier, at the end of last week, and they have taken out all the stained glass windows. Staff is recommending compliance to the August cutoff for them to complete the demolition.
What say Mr. Donaldson?
Your Honor, since the last hearing, we have had our permits approved for the demolition. We've had an asbestos test, which was done. We had asbestos. The asbestos was removed in May, and the demolition is set to happen within the next 7 days. The contractor, Charles from Samsula Demolition, he's also on the Zoom call, who can attest to all the work that has been done to get the demo taken care of. So I think there he is now.
What were you proposing, till August?
Yeah, to the August cutoff for them to complete the
So you expect to
demolition.
have it done by August 6th?
I expect to have it done by the end of this month. So yeah, absolutely, August 6th works.
All right, sounds good. Then I'll go ahead and amend.
Have he been sworn in? He's an attorney.
I'll go ahead and amend our amended order of noncompliance to allow the respondent till August 6, 2025 to come into compliance or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Good luck to you.
Thank you, sir.
Case number 26, William Dennison Sr.
I was talking about the contractor that said it would be done by August. I was talking about the contractor that said it would be done. Yeah, it's okay.
Okay, gentlemen, state your names and be sworn, please.
William Dennison, Sr.
Wesley Amos.
All right.
You swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
All right, continued from the May hearing, no BTR, imposed fine on all remaining violations. Okay, let's start with our inspector. Madam Inspector, what's the status of this compliance with this notice of violation?
Since the last hearing, I was able to complete re-inspections, conditions of the violations at the property. The property did come into compliance as of yesterday for all of the other violations that were ordered in noncompliance. Also, We met with the legal team on May 28th, which resulted in a scheduled meeting on June 5th with the Permits and Licensing and Planning Department. There's currently a review going on to determine if there is currently a pathway for licensing this organization. And so we would like to request a continuance for 60 days to allow the completion of that review and any other things that Mr. Amos may need to comply with as a result of that review for that to happen.
So if I understand what you're saying, with regard to the notice of violation, all the violations have been remedied with the exception of the zoning issue.
Yes, sir.
And you're looking for an additional 60 days for powers to be to figure out if there's a solution to be found before it comes back here.
Yes, sir.
Just for the record, the zoning issue and the no business tax receipt.
Yes.
I assume they're they're tied together.
They are.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, gentlemen, what does that sound like to you? Does that sound accurate?
We're good.
Okay. All right, then I will continue any further proceedings on this particular notice of violation to our August 12, 2025 meeting. Good luck in the interim.
Just one other thing, if I can, I'd like to put on record that she has been a blessing in disguise. I know most code enforcement officers get all kinds of bills brought to them, but she's done a very, very good job. She's very respectful, easy to work with.
Happy to hear it.
Prior to that,
We're
it was
proud of
not
her.
that way. So,
All right, well, thank
kudos
you.
to her.
We can learn a lot.
Case number 27, Satwahe LLC Series 2. Anyone here for the respondent? Not seeing a respondent, what say the city?
Since the last hearing, I did do a reinspection for this property. It did come into compliance for the violations of overgrown landscaping, weeds, trash and debris, dirt and grime, deteriorating paint. I believe it was ordered last hearing that the awnings were going to be amended out to the September 3rd hearing date, but those particular violations did come into compliance on 5/30, May 30th, before the 6/4 compliance date that was given.
So then, with regard to our order of noncompliance, it would appear as though we are in compliance with regard to everything but the awnings that we did defer until September 3rd.
Yes.
And I don't know that there's any need for any additional orders.
Right, so I just need to move it to next month then.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
You need to move what to next
To
month?
September, I'm sorry, to September 3rd.
Yeah, there you go.
Yep.
There you go. Okay. Very good. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Case number 28, GEA Seaside Investments Incorporated. Not seeing a respondent, what say the city?
All right, Inspector Curtis Wiggins, code compliance credentials on file. Respondent was first notified of violations January 29th, 2025. Since the May hearing, no progress has been made. I've had no contact with the owner. Last date of reinspection was June 6, 2025. The result of the reinspection was non-compliance, so staff recommend a fine of $100 a day to a cap of $15,000.
Okay, noting the absence of the respondent, based upon our inspector's testimony, the photographs presented, I'm fining the respondent the sum of $100 per day commencing June 5, 2025. That fine will continue to accrue each day thereafter until such time as the property is in compliance or the amount of the fine has reached the sum of $15,000. Case number 29 is in compliance. Case number 30, Denise Diabato.
All right.
Anyone here for the respondent?
Respondent was first notified of violations February 11th, 2023. Since the May hearing, no progress has been made. I've had contact with the owner. The last date of reinspection was June 6, 2025. The result of that reinspection was non-compliance. Staff recommend a fine of $100 a day to a cap of $10,000.
This the lady climbing into the second story of her house on a ladder?
Correct.
Yep.
Okay. And she was supposed to be in compliance May 7th?
Yeah, if you get her more time.
All right.
But this
Noting
is
the absence of the respondent based upon the inspector's testimony and the photographs presented, I'm fining the respondent the sum of $100 per day commencing May 8, 2025. That fine will continue to accrue each day thereafter until the property is brought into compliance or the amount of the fine has reached the sum of $10,000. Case number 31, Ron and Ron Group 2 LLC. Anyone here for the respondent? Yes, ma'am. If you would state your name and be sworn.
Renee Richardson.
Raise your hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
Renovation work without a permit, here for the imposition of a fine. What say the city?
Good morning, Sarah Kirk, Inspector with the city. My credentials are on file. First notification was 7/21/22. Since the last hearing, there has been a new owner, so we would like to add the new owner and amend the case for 30 days to the next cutoff.
Who's the new owner?
Right here.
All
So-
right, so we are amending to add Ms. Richardson as a respondent?
It's a Leah and James Investment LLC with Ms. Richardson as the, what is it?
Owner.
The owner, a registered agent.
Yes.
Okay, Kim, you have that name?
Yes.
All right, we are substituting, we're just adding.
Adding.
We will add that name to our respondents.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. So Ron and Ron Group, no longer at all. This is Leah and James Investments, period. Nothing with Ron and Ron Group. So I don't know however you have
Well,
to
if you're going to
change
step
that.
up to the plate, I don't mind removing them, it's up to you,
Yes,
it's your
remove.
call.
Remove them, and I'm here.
All right, good
Yes.
enough. Then we will substitute Ms. Richardson's corporation.
Yes.
Which she just identified.
Yes.
As the respondent for Ron and Ron
Okay.
Group 2 LLC. And with that, we will amend our current amended order of noncompliance to allow her until July 2, 2025 to come into compliance or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter.
Yes.
Good luck to you.
All right.
Have you updated the property appraiser's report?
Yes.
Okay, okay.
Yes.
Case number 32,
Thank you.
Christopher
Thank you.
R. and Joy Loudon. Yes, ma'am. If you would please state your name and be sworn.
Hi, Jen Loudon.
So Jen?
Yes.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Your affiliation with Christopher and Joy,
Yes.
what is it?
Daughter Joy.
Okay. And you have authority to speak on their behalf today?
Yes.
Very good. All right, this matter is here for the imposition of a fine, so let's hear from our inspector.
Okay. First notification was 7/31/2024. Since the last hearing, I have not had any contact, and there has not been any progress. Staff is recommending a fine of $100,000 to a cap of $20,000.
Maybe 1,000.
Okay, $100 a day?
Oh, I'm sorry, $100 a day.
Or we just
Excuse
lump
me.
summing it now?
$100 a day to a cap of $20,000.
All right, Jen, what's game plan here, kid?
Okay, we have numbers on the house. We have electrical permit, windows and doors permit, roof permit, structural permit. I just messaged the GC. She said we'll have to get drawings and an art engineer. She said it'll probably take about 4 to 5 months to complete that. So if we could get an extension
To
for her to
complete
get
what?
done. The structural plans for the railings were replaced.
Okay, why have we not done any more than we have since July 31 of last year?
It's a unique situation. I'm sure you've heard it all. We bought this as a sixplex for residential to commercial. We went and upgraded the exterior panels. That permit was approved. I find out later it was approved in error. They approved it. We went to get electricity turned on from Florida Power and Light. They said 4 of your 6 meters are incorrect. We went back to apply for an additional permit saying, hey, we need to replace 4 of these. They said, sorry, this is considered a single-family residence. They will not give us an electrical permit because, I guess, Florida Power and Light won't turn on because it's some type of, however the electrical's set up, a trough design, I think is what it was called.
A what?
A trough design where all the electric goes into one
Okay.
trough area and then it splits off into the 6 separate meters. So now I think we're gonna have to get a temp pole to get electricity because contractors don't like to work without electricity.
So your extenuating circumstances you're trying to describe for me are the difficulties you've had getting power.
Correct.
Appropriately to the house through FPL.
Yes, sir. And permitting.
And you are now on the scene?
Yes, yes.
As of when?
Actually, I was there this week putting the 5, 6, 7 on the walls for the numbers. GC said she'll get whatever we need for structural. It's and we'll apply for a temp pole to get electricity because.
Is this property occupied at present?
No.
And you're not going to occupy it until you're in compliance?
We've owned it for a year and no.
How much time should reasonably be required to bring this into compliance?
Our stance on it was there was structural work done without a permit, and there's been no permit application put in for that. Ms. Loudon just stated that it'd be 5 to 6 months.
5 to 6 months,
Well,
just
we ain't
because the
doing that
electric.
yet, so
Yeah.
you don't need to worry about that. So
So-
let's just talk about.
I guess next cutoff to see if there's a permit application.
I'll take
and
care of that. What's your best guess on the basis of what you see as far as your violations are concerned, as to how much time it would take to take care of all these things? You got rotted wood, peeling paint's nothing.
It's been
You're talking
painted.
about rotted wood, you're talking about windows, you're talking structural work,
to get the
electrical work.
and the after the fact permit, I would say at least 60 days, at
Well,
least.
That's fine. We're going to keep Ms. Loudon on a pretty tight leash here because
Okay.
she's asking us for a lot. So what's the next step in the process as far as you bringing this property into compliance?
I'm getting a permit for the structural and then getting a temp pole so we can at least get contractors out there
Okay,
to
then
work.
here's what we're going to do. I'm going to reschedule this matter for our July 8, 2025 meeting. And you're going to bring your report card with you and tell me what you've accomplished in the interim. And as long as I'm satisfied that we're seeing some positive momentum going forward, I'll take you at your word with regard to the delay to date. Then we will, as long as we're seeing genuine effort, happy to see the property get rehabbed. So in any event, we will continue the imposition of a fine. We will revisit this matter on July 8, 2025. At that point, you're going to give me a progress report. And with each progress report, we'll get a little closer to figuring out a compliance date. And the additional time I'm allowing you is predicated on that building not being rented, used, or otherwise occupied until it's in compliance. And the exterior in the interim has to be maintained, the exterior, so that your neighbors don't start yelling at me because their patience is gone.
Okay, and am I allowed to appear by Zoom?
Yes, you
I
are.
live like an hour away, so.
Yes, you are.
Okay, perfect.
And stay in touch with this young lady.
She's been awesome too.
Because
to deal with.
if you get jammed up, she'll keep us posted as to what's going on. Very good. All right, and we will see you July 8th, and we will start getting this thing in shape.
Thank you.
And in the interim, it's not to be used until it is. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
She can give you the Zoom info.
Case number 33, 1995, Big Island Trust, dated August 8, 2020, and Tyler Anthony Vasquez Trust. Anyone here for the respondent? Not seeing a respondent, what say the city?
Inspector Itani, code compliance, credentials are on file. Respondent was first notified on October 3rd, 2024. This is here for a progress report. Since the May hearing, I have had contact with the owner, and the permits have been issued. So my last inspection was this morning, June 10th, and SAC recommends we amend to the September cutoff.
To the September cutoff?
Yes, he's got his permits for a full remodel of the building.
And you're confident enough he's going to do it to give him that much time?
I believe so.
Okay.
He was trying to appear via Zoom.
Yeah, he was trying to appear via Zoom, not sure.
Was he able to get on? Not
Okay.
available, okay. Just checking.
Yeah, he's,
All right, in any event, our inspector seems to be confident that we've got this under control, so I'm going to amend our amended order of noncompliance to allow the respondent until September 3, 2025 to come into compliance or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Thank you. Never mind, you're not going anywhere. Case number 34, another Big Island Trust. Why do we have two of them?
it's two different addresses.
Okay, tell me about the second one.
This one is also here for a progress report, and he has all his permits, and they are on site currently working. My last inspection was June 9th, and I'm also requesting that we amend this to the September hearing.
All right, based upon our inspector's report, I will amend our amended order of noncompliance to allow the respondent until September 3, 2025 to come into compliance or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Case number 35, Atlantic County 03 LLC. Anyone here for the respondent? Not seeing a respondent, what say the city?
Respondent was first notified on January 3rd, 2025. Since the May hearing, I've had contact with the owner, but there's been no progress. So the city is looking to purchase this property. The last inspection was June 9th, 2025, and the result was non-compliance. SAC recommends we amend to the August hearing per Ken Thomas with the redevelopment department, so the city has a better understanding of what they want to do with the property.
So what you're asking me to do is just continue the determination of this fine until the August 6th meeting?
Yes.
Okay, based upon our inspector's report, I will continue this matter in its current posture to the July 8, 2025 special magistrate proceeding.
July 8th or August?
Sorry, when did you want to continue?
August.
I will continue it to the August 12, 2025 meeting. I got it right now?
Yes.
Very good. Case number 36, Panora Properties, LLC. Yes, sir, if you would please state your name and be sworn.
William Panora?
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
All right, this matter is here for the imposition of a fine. Let's hear from our inspector.
Respondent was first notified May 25th, 2024. Since the May hearing, I've had no contact with the owner, and the permits were issued back in May, before the May hearing last time. Last inspection was June 5th, 2025, and the result was non-compliance. Staff recommends a fine of $100 a day with a cap of $15,000.
I'm sorry, the last part, how much per day?
$100 a day with a cap of $15,000.
Okay, you got the permit and you stopped working?
No. We're working on it. The permit, when I talked to the city, they were more interested in finishing the inside overall. And because of the elevation, something about new code standards, that if I was not going with the new code standards to just finish what I have as is, and they wanted to basically look at everything in the end, not now.
What does all that mean?
I'm finishing the interior.
So what you're telling me is what? You've been working on things other than what you were cited for?
Yes.
And what you were cited for, you are trying to tell me is all exterior stuff? With the exception of the permit?
What I was cited for was exterior stuff, yes.
All right. Do you know anything about any of this?
No, I haven't spoken to him.
And I apologize for that. I should have been more
So what is it you've been doing on the interior?
cleaning the walls, anything that I can legally do. Because I do plan on keeping the house, and I do not want to just rush through everything to just get off everybody's radar. I do want to keep the house long term, so I am taking my time, which I believe this month I should be finishing. I applied for an AC permit today. I believe the AC tech did, to have an AC as well, legally.
Applied for an air conditioning permit today.
Today
for
to
this
have
house.
that installed, which
is clearly interior.
Which is interior as well. I want to finish interior so I can just do a final inspection and
So
everybody.
is this going to be done by July 2?
I believe yes, if not extremely close to being finished.
All right. Well, I'll take you at your word when you tell me you've been working on the interior. I'll allow you until July 2, 2025 to come into compliance or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. If you aren't going to have it done by July 2, you better have told her what's going on.
Yeah, I apologize. I'll
And
be
if she
more.
needs to inspect the interior, you need to make the interior available to her too.
Yeah, I'll be more open now. I apologize.
Okay? Good enough?
Thank you.
You're welcome. This brings us to lien review number 1, Community Church of God in Christ of Daytona Beach, Florida, Incorporated, at 400 Henry Butts Drive. Yes, sir, if you would please state your name and be sworn.
Earl Kelly III.
Raise your hand. Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Earl Kelly III?
Yes.
Okay. All right. We have an order imposing fine lien of $50 a day effective January 12, 2021. Compliance about 4 years later. For a total of $23,031.68. Have there been any discussions between the parties regarding this lien?
Yes, sir. Good morning,
Do
Mr.
you have
Kelja. My credentials on file, it's Inspector Garcia, and basically, the city has spoken, we had an agreement, we sat down with the owner and the grandson, and we came into agreement with reducing the fine to $3,500 from the $23,031.68.
Agreed?
I do. Yes, I agree.
Be paid within 30 days?
Correct.
Okay. Then I will approve the stipulation between parties to satisfy, am I satisfying it or canceling it?
It'd be satisfaction.
To satisfy the order imposing fine lien by payment in the amount of $3,500 within 30 days. If it's not paid within the 30 days, this doesn't change and it remains the same. So you need to be aware of that. Okay, is that all I need to do?
Yes.
Very good. Okay, good luck to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Lien review number 2, 322 Daytona Beach LLC at 322 Seabreeze Boulevard. Anyone here for the respondent? I'm sorry, for the applicant. Not seeing a lien review applicant, what say the city?
We did meet with the owner and had come up with an agreement to reduce the fine, but if he is not here, we can't proceed with it because he's...
Supposed to be on Zoom. Is Mr. Shamul Bondell on Zoom? Ooh. I don't know what happened. Okay. Maybe we'll pull him and see what happened. I don't know if there was a glitch or...
If it's the city that's prepared to consider a reduction to satisfy the lien, then I can approve that. Because it's the city's lien to do with as it wishes. It can't penalize an absent respondent, but it can benefit an absent respondent. I have no doubt about that. So my point is, I will either leave it alone because there is no lien review applicant before me, or I will consider a city's request that I reduce it to whatever it is you suggest it should be reduced to, subject, of course, to it still being paid within the 30 days. So you tell me what you want to do.
Well, the city did meet with the owner. Staff reviewed it. We are requesting a reduction of the $8,000 lien down to $1,000. This was for some doors that were put in without a permit. And he did correct it before the lien maxed.
I will approve the satisfaction of the current order imposing fine lien upon payment of the sum of $1,000 within 30 days. If that $1,000 is not paid within 30 days, then the pending order imposing fine lien remains in full force and effect for all $8,824. Is that clear enough?
Yes, sir.
So I guess you can let the owner know, he pays the $1,000 within 30 days, he's done. He
Okay.
gets it satisfied, otherwise it remains where it is.
Okay.
Lien review number 3, Mary F. Yan at 629 Roma Street. Yes, ma'am, if you would please state your name.
Tierra Jones.
Pardon?
Tierra Jones.
Raise your right hand. Swear and affirm testimony about your to provide is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
And your affiliation with Mary Yan?
That's my grandmother.
Okay. And have the parties had any discussion regarding a resolution of this lien?
Yes, sir. Staff met with the owners and recommend a reduction of the fine lien down to $2,000.
That agreed?
Yes.
Your name again?
Tierra Jones.
Sierra Jones?
Tiara.
Tiara Jones.
Yeah, mm-hmm.
All right, and you have authority to speak on behalf of the respondent?
Yes. I already gave them a notarized
You're
paper.
in agreement to the reduction down to $2,000?
Yes.
And you understand it has to be paid within 30 days or it remains where it's at?
Yes.
Very good. All right, I will approve and adopt the stipulation between the parties to reduce the order imposing fine lien to the sum of $2,000. And once that sum is paid within 30 days, then the city is free to go ahead and satisfy the lien in toto.
Okay. Thank
Good
you.
luck to you.
Your Honor, lien review number 2 has just joined the Zoom meeting.
Bring them on board.
Here, Mr. Sam.
Yes, sir. If you would please state your name and be sworn.
Shmuel Barnadell, but I think I was on for the prior one. Am I on the right one? I'm sorry.
Are you here for Daytona Beach, 322 Daytona Beach LLC?
Yes.
All right, well, the city advised me of your proposal to resolve this matter for, was it $1,000 or $2,000?
$1,000.
For $1,000, and I approved that, subject to it being paid within 30 days. I assume you're in agreement with that?
Yes, thank you very much.
Very good. All right. Please be careful. If it's not paid within 30 days, it stays the way it is, so make sure you take care of it.
Understood. Thank
Good
you very
luck to
much.
you.
Thank you.
All right, lien review number 4, Clear Westview LP, Ben Harris, new owner, at 301 North Seneca Street. Not seeing, yes, sir, if you would please state your name and be sworn.
Sorry, is this me now? I didn't hear my name said.
Are you here for Clear Westview LP, Ben Harris?
Yes, Your
This is
Honor.
you.
All right, Ben Harris with Clear Westview LP.
Raise your right hand. You swear and affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Inspector, have the parties had any discussions regarding an amicable resolution of this lien?
Yes, sir.
And have you arrived at any kind of an agreement?
Yeah, I believe it's $2,000.
City's agreeing to reduce the lien upon payment of the sum of $2,000?
Yes, sir.
I'm in agreement.
Okay, Mr. Harris, that your understanding of the agreement?
Yes.
You pay $2,000 within 30 days and the lien satisfied in toto?
Perfect.
Very good. So ordered.
Thank you.
Make sure you pay that within that 30 days or else it just remains in effect.
I certainly will.
Yes, sir. Good luck. All right,
Thank
lien
you.
review number 5, Kenneth E. Clank at 740 Derbyshire Road.
Oh. Oh, do you guys have a mic? I'm sorry.
Is this Mr. Clank?
Yes.
I'm sure I can hear him.
Yeah, we can probably hear. I don't know. We may not need it. Go ahead and just state your name.
Ken Clank, K-L-E-N-K.
Yes, sir. I can hear you fine.
You can hear him fine. Raise your hand. Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay, Mr. Inspector, have the parties had a chance to discuss an amicable resolution of this lien?
Yes, sir. Staff met with the property owner, and we agreed to a reduction of the lien to $2,000, payable within 30 days.
Mr. Clank, is that your understanding of the agreement?
Yes, sir.
So be it. All right, I'm going to go ahead and order that if Mr. Clink pays the sum of $2,000 to the city of Daytona Beach within 30 days, then the city will then satisfy in toto its order imposing fine lien, which I understand currently is upwards of $43,893.11. So ordered. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you. Where do I go pay it?
You will get an invoice from Ms. Reno, and that will tell you where it needs to be paid.
Do we have any other business to be brought before the special magistrate?
I don't have any.
Nope, the city does not have anything, Your Honor.
I showed up today all geared up for all kinds of battle. You got the Minglers Club under control.
I gotta say, I'm really proud of all the code inspectors.
Holy
They,
cow. I stayed up late last night just to read all this stuff, figuring we'd be here all for a while. All right.
Speaking of,
Y'all do good work.
would you, if, like, let's say we stipulated to a continuance, would you like us to email that to you to, like, save you time in the future for things like this, or does it not matter?
No, I like to stay
Okay.
in touch with the cases.
Sounds good.
Sir, want to end?
Oh, we're adjourned.
Okay.